Here's a question for you. Do you enjoy being alone? Now, I know many of us probably enjoy our time alone and maybe even need our time alone. But I have been hearing from an increasing number of people that there comes a point when enough is enough when it comes to being alone. I suppose you can reach a saturation point with being alone just as you can reach a saturation point with being around too many people. This reminds me that God has created us to be relational beings. He didn't design us to spend our life in isolation. This reminds me of a passage in Ecclesiastes chapter 4 and verse 9, which says that two are better than one. And this passage is true because God did create us to be relational beings. He did create us for fellowship, for mutual support, mutual love, mutual encouragement, all of these things which are a reflection of His nature. And I'm reminded of that, especially now as I sit in this room, which is echoing in emptiness at the moment. This room, which probably will remain empty in the weeks to come and perhaps even in the months to come. This room, which normally would be full of the sounds of singing, the sounds of encouragement, the sight of hugs for one another, of mutual edification, something that's not able to happen right now because of the social distancing that we're having to observe right now for our safety. Social distancing, this is not the way we were created. This is not the normal for human beings. It's a temporary measure, and yes, it is temporary. This too will pass, and at some point it'll be over and we'll get back to life the way it ought to be. In the meantime, I want to encourage all of us to stay connected in the ways that we can, through phone calls, through social media, through online live streaming when it comes to the teaching and preaching and encouraging ministry and the other resources that are there and the other resources that are available. And I also want to remind you that when all of this is over, make it a priority to stay connected with your brothers and sisters in Christ. Truly, two are better than one. So remember these things and be encouraged.